The moon provides a stable surface that's better than a space station in the sense of it being a platform for telescopes. We can build on it, we can have more permanent stability. We can build optical telescopes and we could build radio telescopes using craters as back-end forms for radio telescope dishes. And the environment is good from all perspectives for the optical and the radio in that there's no atmosphere, and so we're not looking through that funky atmosphere that gives optical telescopes problems. And we are removed from light pollution. So if we could go to the moon from a lunar base, for example, and use that as the outpost and then build the infrastructure of the telescope on the moon using materials from the moon, that would be ideal. But long-term operation of a telescope on the moon compared to, say, a space telescope or an instrument on a satellite, the moon we can go visit and we can tweak, we can add new instruments, we can be there with the telescope in a way that we wouldn't be able to with a satellite-based telescope. Operations-wise, because the gravity is lower, we might be able to, well, we could build bigger optical mirrors. On Earth, the limitation is not only technical, but it's also the gravity. The gravity deforms the optical mirror if it gets too big. On the moon, gravity is lower, weaker, and so we could build larger structures. We have no atmosphere on the moon, and so we have a pristine view of the cosmos, just like a space telescope does. One of the benefits of a space telescope is being outside of the atmosphere. That's the optical telescope. The radio telescope, for very similar reasons, we can build much larger single dishes of the radio telescope, and again using craters perhaps as that support structure. On the far side of the moon, the radio interference that's coming from the Earth constantly from radio broadcasts and television and radar and that sort of thing is completely blocked by the moon. And so on the far side of the moon, we have a very pristine radio environment. We're only detecting radio emissions from the astronomical objects. We're not being interfered with by radio transmissions from the Earth.